This is the short version of the Motino Node Network demo. For the long version, have a look at the link below. For this version, I've already copied and pasted code from the Motino Node Network documentation into the setup and loop. I'm also including a DHT11 code for a DHT11 sensor. We'll be working with that. It's a humidity and temperature sensor. So let's create a couple messages for this Motino to send to the host. The first will be for humidity, and the second will be for temperature. I'm going to do a lot of copying and pasting. Again, for the longer version, have a look below. You can see all of my explanations and my mistakes. So we'll have two messages, one to send humidity and one to send temp. I could, of course, combine these into one, since I could read humidity and temperature at the same time using the DHT11, but where's the fun in that? Alright, I'm also going to put a command in here so that we can see how commands from the host can be parsed and then acted upon. For the node loop, I'm going to, this would be fine normally, but I want every 60 seconds or 60,000 milliseconds to send both the humidity and the temperature. So I'm going to just queue up those. The node loop function will delay. It's not a true delay, it's actually doing a lot behind the scenes, but it'll delay 60,000 milliseconds and then queue these events and send off the humidity and temperature. Alright, let's look at the handle print command. We'll create the send humidity and send temp methods soon. All message handlers for handling received messages follow this format. They return an integer, they accept a message string and a length of that message. Since I'm going to be parsing that message, I'm going to set that into the node's handler, or into this node's message handler. Since I only want the number and not the field label, I'm going to call getNextMessageField to get rid of the label and just not store it. And then I'll call it again, but this time I'll store it. This time I'll store it into a char star variable, and then just print it out. So this first call got the field's label, the next call got the field's value. Now I can convert this value to an actual number using a to I or some other string to integer type of conversion. Alright, let's handle the requests from the host for humidity and for temperature. They're both handler commands, or handler methods, so they look exactly like this. They just have different names. The names are going to be handle humidity request and handle temperature request. And all they're going to do is the exact same thing as we're doing here. And that is adding the send humidity method into the node's event queue. I'm going to do the exact same thing and then returning. I'm going to do the exact same thing for the temperature. Okay, all that's left to do is define the send humidity and send temperature methods. They are event methods, so they have this method signature. They return void and they accept an array of values. I've called this one no values because we're not actually going to use any. They would be defined here. So for example, if I wanted to send two values, 0 and 0, I'd do like that. But in this case, I'm sending 0 values. Okay, so the first thing we need to do, if we're going to use the DHT11 sensor, is called DHT11 read. Remembering again that I don't actually have a sensor connected to this Motino. I'm going to generate a random value, and I'll include that as part of the message. Alright, here's how we do that. We call sprintf with the nodes buffer, and using the protocol defined in the document, right here, we can create a message string that will use the same message name and message field labels here. So here's the message name, a pipe, and then for each field we're going to put in a field label and its value separated by a colon, and then each field is separated from the other fields by a semicolon. Its value here is the DHT11 humidity value that was read here, and then of course we're including the random value. All we have to do next is just send the message to the gateway with the message size. I'm going to do the exact same thing for the temperature, except in this case my random value, instead of being between 1 and 20, will be between 21 and 100. Now of course I could rename these however I wanted. I can use uppercase, lowercase, camel case. It doesn't really matter. Let me save that and compile it. Now I've got I've done this already once, and I've had it running for a few hours here. Remember, this records 24 hours worth of data and graphs it for you. We can see the node that's been running on channel 4 can get it just actually sent out a set of updates, but we can request updates and get new random values. Remember, the humidity sensor isn't actually connected, so it's always going to respond with a 0. But oh, here, let me move this out of the way. We can send any number we like and it'll print it right here. You can see that the host has generated Motino Node network messages like this one right here, print num, pipe num, with a colon separating the label and the number. So now you can generate or create your own custom Motino, hook it up into the Motino Node network. It'll be as if it was always there, and or if rather it'll adapt, the network will adapt to your new custom node, and you'll be off and running, hopefully in a very short time.